Welcome everyone to Maximum Off Grid. I am Regina, your hostess, and today I am talking about what it's like to be off grid in 2022. So we're just going to take a little walk around my property while I chat with you. And it's about mid-80s spring day here in beautiful southern Arizona. So what's it like to live in 2022 off the grid? Okay, I'll just get straight to the point. It's freaking epic. Hell yeah. If you are thinking about going off the grid this year, I am going to tell you, just do it, like Nike says. Just freaking do it. Pull the trigger. It'll never be perfect. You'll never be ready. You may think you're as ready as hell, and then you go off grid and you realize you're not ready at all. So, waiting around, not the smartest thing to do. And the reason I say that is because we don't know the future. All we can do is react to the past and the present and speculate about the future. So what I mean by this is you can speculate that property prices will come down, but what happens if this is the bottom? What happens if, property prices are going to crash by 30 to 50%, but maybe they rise. Maybe they rise by 30 to 50% over the next 6 months to a year, and then the crash happens. Or maybe they rise another 100% over the next year and a half, and then the crash happens only 50%, and this is the cheapest you can get it. Or maybe you'll buy the property and it'll crash a week later and you could have gotten it for 30% less. You cannot predict the future. You cannot predict the price of building materials and what will happen. Although I would think building materials are going to stay the same or go up. They may come down a little bit, but I just don't see that happening. But there I go, predicting the future. I can't predict the future. So don't base going off grid in 2022 on what the future holds. You just have to go with the present. So going off grid in 2022, it's really expensive. That's a pretty big change. This property was purchased at the end of 2020. We actually moved on to it in January. I'm now solo on the property, by the way, so my situation has changed drastically. But since 2021 to now, of course, right when we bought the property is when, all the crazy was happening and all the building materials spiked. So it's very expensive. I would say the best time to have gone off grid recently was probably 2016, 2017, when gas was cheap. Just driving to the freaking hardware store. When you are living on a property that is out of town, $5 to $10 if you have a truck. A lot more if you're really way out of town. So every time I gotta go to the hardware store, every time I forget, I forgot this, I gotta go back. That's the pits. Because that's an extra $7. It's costing me in my truck $7 round trip about to get to town and back. So I try and only go once a week. So that would probably be one con of going off grid in 2022 is gas is expensive, building materials are expensive, property is expensive, everything's freaking expensive. in 2022. However, is it just gonna keep going up? Are you gonna get some juicy raise in 6 months to a year where you can afford more building materials? I don't know your situation. I do know a solution, and that is looking into alternative building materials, which is what I'm doing. So when we went off grid, the price of lumber, I think it tripled almost overnight. And we had a project we were working on that had to be built in lumber. And it cost triple in lumber to build the damn thing. And now my mind state is shifting towards alternative building methods. So my main building material is going to be earth bags. And everything I build from here on out is earth bags. And that works really well for Arizona, being a dry, arid climate. And it works really well for the ground I have here. So I should be able to construct some really, really good earth bag buildings. And it'll save me a lot of money. I actually just bought 1,000 sandbags for $300. That's a lot of freaking sandbags. So the more quantity you buy, the less it is. So in 2022, if you're thinking or living off grid, circumvent a lot of your costs by using alternative building materials. Use what you have on your property. Leverage what you have on your property. Maybe you have timber on your property. Get a contract with a sawmill. Freaking have your own sawmill. That'd be crazy. Making your own boards, but people do it. You got to get creative to circumvent these costs. Another thing I love about being off grid in 2022 is I have got a bubble of protection from the crazy. And I live in my little bubble. It's a 30-acre bubble. I have lots of room. I guess maybe if I hold my camera like this, you can actually see a little bit more of the landscape. Yeah, that's good. I have a 30-acre bubble where I'm insulated from the crazy. And I have found myself watching way less news, consuming way less scary stuff, because I just don't care anymore, because I'm in my little world, and I know that if SHTF, I am legit out here. It would be bumpy, yeah. I would feel the effects of SHTF. Of course, everybody would. But I have enough infrastructure. I have enough protection. I have enough gardening methods. I have my own water from my well. I have my own electricity that I'm going to make it. All you people in the city, I hope you've been doing a little prepping, but I don't even believe SHTF, to be honest. I don't believe SH is good at TF. I just think there's a crazy power grab going on, so we'll eventually keep losing more and more of our freedoms, which is another bonus to being off grid in 2022, is the freedom to roam, to not look in your neighbor's window, to not be governed. I'm loving that. This is it, man. I live out here. I don't leave a lot. I don't leave a lot. I work from my computer, and I just experience true freedom every day of my life. It's so peaceful, it's so quiet. I have critters and birds and deer and quail, squirrels, coyotes, ravens. I love the ravens. The ravens are my guardians. I have at least 3 or 4 families of ravens that live in my cottonwood trees, so they watch over the place. It's pretty cool. Freedom, the feeling of freedom in 2022. I imagine a lot of y'all feel restricted, you know, if you're living in a city or suburb environment. So another reason for 2022 to go off grid. Okay, so my phone overheated and that's what happened. That's why it cut out. So I had to throw my phone in the refrigerator, and now I'm sitting under my favorite tree to finish the video. The final point I wanted to make about being off grid in 2022 is there are a lot of work from home opportunities now, which is what I do for a living. I am a freelance writer, and I am on a contract basis with a couple of clients, which is great for my off-grid lifestyle. So a lot of those opportunities have opened up with the crazy that's happened, and it fits really well into being independent, not having to travel to town, not spending the gas money on a job, and just staying on your property all the time. So I would love to hear any comments you have. What do you think about being off grid in 2022? Are you living off grid in 2022? What are your tips and tricks for getting through the price hikes and the gas prices and whatnots? You know? And maybe you're thinking about going off grid in 2022 and you have questions you can ask in the comments. So as a final note, please support my channel. I did start a Patreon, Maximum Off Grid. That's one way you can support. There's exclusive content on there, not yet, but there will be. And another way you can support is sending me cryptocurrency to my Ethereum address, which is listed in the show notes. Another way you can show support is going to my website, MaximumOffGrid.com. It's full of information about how to go off grid. I've been working on the website for 5 years now, so there's a lot of research on that website. And you can simply show your support by subscribing to this channel and liking this video. There will be plenty more coming this way, so I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon.